and it keeps muting my Skype. I don't know why. But anyway, we are here on this first circle of the first game of the first day. I am Poor Source. He is Hypoc. And, man, we are ready to go. There's so many questions to ask, and a lot of them were breached right there on the analyst desk right off the jump. Can Sonics keep holding out? Can Gas Cans try to make a come from behind victory? Can STK try to find some semblance of their old form before the end of this tournament? There's so many things that we still have left to answer, Hypoc.
Yeah, I mean, there's still room for. I know the guys obviously they talked heavily about kind of the top 4 and everything, but there's still a lot to play for. I mean, in terms of the top 8, I mean, even down to 10th because AATC, there's a lot of room for movement. 8 games left to play. That's a lot of games, and we're at the point now where some teams can still make a dash for it. Some of these differences in prizing is huge, right? Just like 2 spots. So
absolutely,
there's still a lot to look out for this. I keep saying weekend. Every time we do a Thursday and Friday cast, I always say weekend, but I'm going to leave it as is.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of it's our weekend. Yeah. I mean, look, hey, it feels like a weekend, right? I mean, we're already drinking.
I mean, 2020 feels like a weekend. The whole year.
The whole time, indeed. Well,
weekend.
Let's see where the first circle goes. Okay. Good start. I mean, depending on who you want. Well, look, hey, if you're looking at the first circle and you're saying, okay, there's been a lot of talk, Sonic's getting circles, yada yada yada, whatever. First circle, sure, they're in Picata. They're going to get this most of the time, right? That's not a big deal. Everybody kind of knows that. But when it starts getting interesting is when you start getting those third circle, fourth circle, even fifth and sixth. That's where Sonics has been having a lot of luck. When it comes to being inside, having 4 up first of all, and finding themselves inside compounds, inside the circle on pop. So, do you think that this is a matter of Sonic luck, or is this a matter of just H-win?
Dude, you know what? I was literally having this conversation with Kurt earlier. We were back and forth talking about some of the teams in NA and how well equipped they are for the international meta and whatnot, and what play style kind of plays towards that. And I mean, Sonic says that I mean, it really was. But we also did kind of touch on Sonics and Circle Luck, but you got to take into account these guys religiously move at 3 minutes 30 no matter where the circle is. They're literally they manage to out rotate some teams that are dead center of circle 1, and then the thing is that the way that they play and these ambitious, you could say, splits early game that they can maintain through to circle 3. And it comes circle 4, if you're in a position to center up on a prime compound, I'm not even talking dead center, I'm talking about top of a hill, something like that, where they're able to then even sweep an edge if they have to once circle 5 comes. They're always equipping themselves. They're literally minimizing that RNG factor, and that's something we don't see a lot of. It sounds very simple when you say it like that, right? But if a team can consistently do that, that's we're kind of seeing what that looks like in terms of the leaderboard, to be honest with you, because they're always so well positioned coming from mid to late game. And one of the things I know you were looking heavily into this is how often they're keeping 4 up into kind of circle 5, circle 6. Their ratio for having 4 people alive in circle 6 and still being in the circle is actually crazy.
It's insane. And to kind of further on to that point, when you look at, even something as simple as a stat of when teams get the most of their kills, right? How many kills do they get
when they become active?
Circle? Exactly. You look at Sonics and their curve peaks in circle 6.
Yeah.
And they are the latest team to peak by far. I mean,
first team to rotate, but you could argue one of the latest teams to kind of actually become active in terms of points, not just placement. Right. They're one of the latest teams to become active.
Right, and that's not to say that they don't do anything prior to Circle 6, right? They're doing their usual thing, and when you have as many kills as they have, I mean, obviously it kind of gets spread out a little bit. But when you compare that to, say, Gas Cans, who's kind of up there in that same area,
opposite.
Exactly, Gas Cans is peaking in Circle 3 and 4. Right, and that's just kind of the result of that style the Gas Cans has been playing, right, where they work the edges and they kind of stay alive. And I don't think they keep 4 up hardly ever. And oh, look at this. Tig already going to find Keenan in rotation here as Veritas getting a little bit too close to the sun here. And they're going to find themselves, are they stuck or are they just looking? Yeah, I think they're just going for this res. Should be a fairly easy res. I guess Tig must have just popped him out of the vehicle on rotation.
Well, yeah, I mean, whilst we were talking there, we did see him kind of crossing paths almost, just coming out kind of southwest of Picardo. But you do make an interesting point. And again, me and Matt were touching on this last week, which is Sonics is a team. I always say that, once they get to that mid to late game transition, they're okay losing one. They'll make a push, and because Sonics, they've been bullying teams in terms of taking compounds, taking terrain. And the thing is that they don't kind of let their foot off the pedal if they lose one. They maintain that, right? We're 3 up now. We're still going to take team fights. We're still going to remain active. Gascans, much the same, really. They're taking these early game fights. They're looking to pressure early, and it doesn't change the pace. It doesn't change the tempo at all for that team. They managed to maintain that same kind of trajectory with 3 players consistently. And I said it last week again. It's great to see a team say we are fundamentally going to do something different this phase, then see them put into practice, and then see it actually be successful for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was definitely looking at Gascans even back when they were 303, because you could see there were sparks, right, from this Honey Badger Voxic. Exactly.
The splitting early game, yeah.
The Korean style that they very vocally said that they're trying to kind of adopt, right? This very widespread, high information gathering, ADR farming early on, and just kind of playing that edge. But I got to be honest with you, man. I did not think it was going to pop off this quickly.
No. It's
like I thought it was going to take at least another phase.
Yeah, but that's good though, and again, that's huge confidence building for them, because you can tell that the first few times it worked out for them, the very next game bounced back. They're doing exactly the same thing, and there was maybe a few cold feet earlier on in the phase. But definitely last week, I mean, those milli-circles last week where they were like pushing to new compound over on the west side, literally before Circle 1 had popped. Like they're down out the plane, taking vehicles over there. Like just crazy.
And let's see, Sonics doing a little bit of repositioning, just kind of grouping back up in the northern parts of Chuma here, just off to the west of Rumblers. Very much aware of their neighbors. It's not a surprise to anyone to find Waldo and Los in that church.
I mean, I will say it's becoming more and more surprising, actually. And again, you could say we're coming into the final week here, maybe a little bit of a caution exercise by some of these teams. But on some of these weird circles, and we've seen so many of them through PCA. I mean, obviously not my fault. I thought actually Dennis translating actually to take a little bit of down. No, it was only I couldn't see the second health bar in there, but I guess they're scouting us out. He's actually turned around. I'm not sure why Poonage is pulling back on this, because Later's on the south side of the road. Yaxi's on the north here.
I think there might have been a very good chance that Poonage might have spotted out. Zenith was waiting for him right down the road. He might have seen the vehicles or gunshots or something, but in the end, they end up losing kickstart for their troubles. And that is a big gun down early for the Zenith boys, but the fact that they are able to... he lost the tire. What a shot from Yaxley. And Yaxley keeping it going, keeping the pressure on. Poonage should be able to get out of this. Looks like he'll get out of that fairly easy. And look at this. Gas cans in a kill feed. Honey Badger.
Early game in the kill feed. Who'd have thought?
Ready.
Oh, my God.
Rosa in hand, and he's going to find a third. Is that the third, or is that yeah, that's a third knock. He gets a 1v3 right off the bat from Honey Badger, just in wide open terrain. And this is what the gas cans do. They work the edge. They find these fights. They don't always 1v3, but that is what Honey Badger has been bringing to the table to this grand finals.
But I love this as well. And again, you could say that this is now one player. It's a 2v1 for whoever put on. Sorry, a 3v1 actually now. All 3 of them are here. But as soon as that information is relayed, you see them pushing down in their vehicles, coming down to crash the compound, coming to clean this fight up quickly so they can move on to the next one.
Exactly. Gas cans very, very quick to pull the trigger now. That is a good thing, good news for them, because you can see just off in the distance, off to the east, STK making their rotation past here. They might hear these gunshots and see if they can maybe get involved from the high ground. Aguila being a thorn in the side here, not wanting to go down easily. Gas cans are going to have to kind of pull the brakes here just a little bit. Aguila going to try to get in the buggy and see if he can get out of this. Is Ole Miss going to let him? No. Valiant attempt. A good effort. But in the end, it is all for naught as ATC goes down in 16th place.
Well, actually, some utility coming in here on... This is over on the other side of Tumor, actually, over on the far east side, up on the high ground. And Sonics have lost one initially. Tiggleton is down right now. Veritas doing a little bit of damage. And they do have the benefit of having control of it. Actually, Shrimsy going to get tagged up. He's going to have to drop onto the rocks here. Might be able to reset and get this res on Tig, but with 3-man of Veritas, they're going to have fantastic opportunities to peek down on top of this, Boro.
Veritas knows how to work these ridge lines. They know this area very, very well. The smoke cloud is down. They've got a little bit of cover. Going to try to go for the res onto Tig right now. Looks like they should be able to get it right now. Scrimsy going to re-up on the smokes just to be safe. It looks like Tig will get revived. We may have lost Mime in the process, but Sonics will still be in this. As Veritas still wrapping around, this feels like a really bad fight for Sonics to be taking here. And now Jazza and D-Treats are coming from the angle. They're coming from the flank, and this could be bad news for Sonics.
You know, things slowed down a little bit, but I mean, lots of utility invested there to try and get out the flushes. And again, you can't really fault that. They did have him kind of pinned against the pipe there. Actually, Tiggleton going to take a lot of damage as he tries to get away. It's driving away in plain sight. I'm not sure why he didn't follow the same path as his teammates, but looks like he might get away with it. Nope. Jazza going to find him just as he pulls into the school there. So hoping that's not going to be yeah, okay.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, you mentioned kind of why didn't he follow the same path? I mean, his teammates weren't even able to give him any real good covering fire. They couldn't get the angles from where they were shooting, so Veritas just basically had free reign on doing whatever they wanted to do Tig there. And so the Sonics losing too early, that is big news for everybody in this lobby that's on the chase. As we take a look around and see where everybody is, everybody's settling up, waiting for this second circle to pop. Dodge boys, very comfy right now. They do have hard shifts just off to their north, T8 just off to their east. New circle pops, and okay, we're going to get another weird one, IPOC. This one's going to cut south, and we are getting a large amount of water in this, a very small amount of what we would assume would be the playable mainland here. T8 looking beautiful. Dodge looking good as well. We'll just have to see if they're going to end up having to defend themselves as all these teams from the north are starting to make their way down.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, it's already congested on the north side outside of the new zone, but everybody knows this next one's got to cut the water out. So going to expect a lot of pressure coming towards the hard shifts. Zenith as well, you know, T8 and Dodge. I don't think many teams are going to traverse past that. Most teams should opt to play, obviously, onto the northeast edge here. So eyes towards Oath, Rumblers, Comets. They could be a factor in this as well. Jump aboard Zenith, actually. Just Roth and Shimboy left, and they're actually encroaching on the backside of Oath's position. I'm not sure they're fully aware. Snake has actually put down a smoke, so maybe some awareness that there could be a push coming in from the other side. But Rumbler's hassling in here. Bale actually going to find Gaxi with a nade. That's a good arm, actually, from Bale. Gaxi going to fall way out in the open. The rest of Rumbler's kind of scattered back towards Microfy's old compound.
Gaxi's just been having a very, very forgettable grand finals for him in particular. You know, we know Gaxi to be a very, very talented player, but it has just not been going his way and not really been going the Rumblers' way during this finals here. As we check back with gas cans under some fire here. Voxic, okay. Make sure you cut that wheel hard enough, and looks like you're going to be leaving him for dead. And yep, Rip going to get the honors there as gas cans repositions for a little compound here on the edge. Fabled still running around, seeing what they can spot out here, and a number of fights now breaking out all across, as you said, the northeast and the north, and now even the northwest is getting a little bit crazy here as our Sonics boys are coming down across.
Yeah, just spotted them coming in onto the north side of Valdemar. Fabled kind of set up the line of defense just on the outside, but We did just spot out Kurt falling on STK, and they were fairly split just before this circle started closing in. They have regrouped now a little bit. Halo and Uncivil kind of finding some space to play on the high ground here. Again, don't know how hard this one is going to shrink to the north, and we know that it has to cut the water out, but potentially this next shift could bring SDK into a troublesome area, to say the least. Because, I mean, Oath over to the east of them, hard shifts occupying the compound. If it's not all the way to the tip of this old circle, then they're going to have to push one way or the other.
That's the problem, isn't it? Hard shifts, king of the castle right now, and they are looking off to the north to see what they can spot. Meanwhile, on the south here, Veritas going to be engaged and taken down. Fabled is also pinched between Veritas and Sonics here, as I believe another one of Veritas is going to go down to a vehicle from their own teammate. Hate to see that right in the middle of a firefight. You don't want it. The new circle has popped, and it is going to cut just a little bit off to that east. So SDK will have to be on the move, but so will hard shifts, so will Oath, so it might open up a spot. But this whole cluster off to the northwest is going to have to get settled here very soon. It looks like Veritas is going to use this opportunity just to hop in vehicles and get on out of there. That might be the best play.
Yeah, I mean, good timing from them. There's nobody really holding the road there. Now they can get ahead, get set up if they want to try and camp out this rotation. Again, everything kind of east of them from here. You can see what the terrain looks like, perfect for a two-seater. But if Fabled and Sonics leave this too long, I mean, there's going to be a team waiting to gatekeep them. Maybe H1 and Shrimsy just trying to look for some points to put on the board before they fall. Again, damage control. You can see Rip's going to fall in the kill feed there, so H1 finding one knock at least. Veritas has said it's straight in, actually. They found quite a lot of space, but jumping back on board here, and Haxeti stuck behind the shack. The first molly's going to land. Actually, the second does as well. It's ticking a lot of damage onto him. Not sure if he's actually going to fall from that one. He's down to about about 5 HP.
Yeah, Rip will get flushed out as well, so that'll be a third point in Sonics' bag here. He'll come up out of the top, and he's waiting for him.
From the top rope.
H-Win just dropping.
Oh my God.
What a cleanup. Sonics, even with two, as dangerous as ever, as they clean up Fabled, but now they have their work cut out for them. They've got to get inside this circle, and that thing is doing a little bit more than tickle here. As we check in now with Shoot to Kill. They sent it in vehicles, tried to get a little bit closer in, but now they are completely descended upon here by hard shifts. Oath, meanwhile, not as much of an issue. It's really just the hard shifts right now. So SDK could kind of turn their attention over here, and we'll see what happens.
Well, those flashes are actually perfect from Halo. If he comes over and peeks on the top side here, you find Lobes prone down. He is actually going to get that one for free. It's the flush as well. Snake is actually finding Maluk elsewhere. So STK and Oath combining to do a lot of damage to hard shifts right now. It just leaves J-Sank up, I'm pretty sure. That's where gas cans do actually find Sonics as they're coming in on this edge as well. Poro, Shrimsy, last man standing here again, though. It's not good for gas cans. They're way out in the open on the side of this hill. At least Shrimsy and oh my God, Shrimsy going to find Oldless. That's just Nico's left now.
And that blue is ticking. You can see Nico's already very low. He can't really afford to just sit here and peek the guy in the gas. And Shrimsy's going to find him. And that's another 3 points picked up by Sonics. They're up to 8 kills off of the play there of Shrimsy, and he should be able to get back in the vehicle and get inside and snake out some more here as Sonics.
I mean, he's got space.
I'm telling you, when things are looking terrible for this team, they still find some way to manage to collect points, and it's just absolutely insane. STK, meanwhile, looks like they have managed to get rid of hard shifts, but now Uncivil is low. Alo has wrapped north to deal with T8, and Oath is peeking up over the top to see what he can find.
You do actually see now Alo actually getting the open onto Wimu here. Patcap's going to flush out Uncivil with the nade. Now, SDK got to be careful, down to 2, and it's rinse and repeat, really. They're just pinched again between two different teams this time around.
Exactly. At least they've got 4 kills already in the bag, and that's going to do it for Alo. Luke 12 now, the last one alive. I feel like we say that quite a bit here recently for SDK. Luke managing to be the last surviving member. He is going to get spotted out. He will drop down and break line of sight, be able to get that heal off, but Oath still in the process of just clean sweeping this northern side. Now T8, meanwhile, managed to get the res onto Lush, but will lose Steezy as they are now going to have to figure out how to deal with this Oath issue. Is Luke okay? Snakers takes care of that problem, and STK out in 11th place.
This is good, really. I mean, you could say Oath racking up the kills already. I know you're saying they're as good as locked in, but gas cans and Sonics going out this early on leaves a lot of space for Oath to close this gap. Again, 8 games, a lot left to play, but starting strong in day one of the last 2 days, you could say. This is a really, really good opportunity for Oath here.
Absolutely. And if you are an Oath fan, it's got to do you a little bit of good knowing that this is not an Oath circle by any means, and they're finding some pretty good success in it right now as we check in with Veritas just to the south of Dodge. But you can see what the terrain they're really working with here. It's going to be kind of a difficult battle here. I might trade a few shots back and forth, but who knows what they're finding. Actually, Lampalot going to find Weem from way downtown. Is Dodge doing their best Oath impersonation here is one of these 4-man squads just working the edge and trying to clean up around them.
Again, Dodge have put that open space to good use as well, getting control of the high ground. Veritas, we know they made a mad dash for it from the edge of Valdemar, so we have to wait and see if Dodge, show their hand at this point. They haven't really got involved in any team fights per se, just kind of in pressuring. I know they did clean up Shrimsy in rotation on the way in. It was tanking a little bit of blue, but Oath now, I think they've identified they got a little bit of space to their south. Don't really want to mess with T8 over to the west anymore. You see, it was I think it was Bale and Snakers, both very conscious of clearing that northeast edge of the circle. So I guess once this closes, they're going to make a decision on pushing south.
Very effective area control there by Oath, not overextending, just taking what they get for relatively low risk here. As we see Illusion, well, that is just a difficult fight, isn't it? Right underneath one eye, but no lines of sight to be had there. You see Top Dog, Woe, and Show still all up. Woe a little bit farther away than the rest of the gang here. But just kind of staring off to the north. It looks like Illusion more in safety mode here than anything.
Yeah. Well, I know looking at the map, it looks like Show just got an audio cue off of Patron. Actually, Show going to take a lot of damage there. So the peak comes over the top. He does get one knock, but Patron will trade it out. I swear, just hopping on board with Dodge at the top hill. No, back to Woe now. Woe was the one that was out on the extremity, far back against the edge of the circle. And again, he's kind of worked himself out of this fight, to be honest. It's actually Jazza from the north coming down to pressure that as well. Tags Woe down to about 50 HP, and one eye open. I'm pretty sure they know where he is, so pretty much a matter of time there. There you go. It's actually going to be Michael that finds him with the mini headshot.
That might have been the problem there all along for Illusion, is there was no real way to engage on one eye open safely without having to worry about getting shot at from the north side by Veritas with the high ground. So they end up having to be pulled into the fight anyway, and it ends up working out probably how they were fearing it would. Meanwhile, one eye getting pushed here by Dual Cherry. Going to come down the hill and get immediately lit up. But Patron will go down to Jazza, as Jazza will save the life of Cherry for the time being. Delta gets traded down by Lynxy. We got one left up for one eye open. It's going to be Winlow. He's going to try to see if he can get the flush. He will, and he'll also get the down onto Penta. Now Lynxy, the last one up, as Winlow trying to keep things alive for one eye open here. Lynxy has to be concerned about the push coming out here before trying to go for this res.
Yeah, an unfortunate sequence of events there. Duel actually here in the fight between Illusion and One Eye Open. They came over to third party this, and Cherry just getting caught with his hand in the cookie jar in the open on the side of that hill here. Actually, the res comes off from Duel, and Winlow just charging towards the smokes on the side of the hill. Delta's still bleeding out right now. But meanwhile, you can see on the minimap, Veritas have actually come down to the compound as well. So they're perfectly aware that this is weakened teams everywhere over on this south side of the circle. Winlow goes for the big Penta, actually shutting that down with the barrel. So Patron, the last man standing once again.
Penta not wasting any time on that one. Patron will find Lynxy, though. The flash will come up, and Penta will finish him off, and that'll do it for One Eye Open. Will that do it for Duel as well, as Veritas is now running through the compound? They know something's going on. Yes, Jazza will spot him out before he can even get the res started, and that is it for Duel. An 8th place finish for them with a couple of kills for themselves. Not too bad, but Veritas right now on the hunt, man. They've got 4 kills. They have the south side of themselves, still 3 up. We'll see what they can do with it.
Yeah, actually, Oath now looking to sweep along the east side. We know that they were off in the northern side of a previous circle. And Comet's getting absolutely picked apart by them, to be honest. I did see Monty trading back and forth onto one or two of the players from Oath as we were watching that fight with Illusion, but Vegas has managed to slip away, and he's actually looking like he might run into Lost HD, who's been in snake mode for the last few circles. Vegas actually going to win that one, so Rumblers will fall in 7th. But Oath now, I mean, they have all the information. I'm not sure if they were aware of Roth's position. It didn't look like they cleared down that direction. They were sweeping the edge, but expecting the full push onto Vegas here, as you can see on the screen.
Here they come. The shots are going to come out. Vegas will find one. Can Vegas find another one? No, he can't. Pat Caps will finish him off, but Vegas managing to make it to 6th place for the Comets. And that's going to be the Comets getting the 6th place finish and 5 kills. So not a bad first game for them. Here as we check now with Veritas, still 3 strong, still trying to come in from the south side. Oath looking that direction already. We also have another Snake waiting in the wings here in Roth. You can see him in red just to the north of Snakers there. And Zealot way off to the north has a compound. We'll see what Veritas can do about Oath right now. Good ridge line for Oath to work with. Jazzle will come up over the top, take the first shots, not find anything. Flashbangs coming out. Zealot, meanwhile, has been picked off. Pat Cat will take the low ground and find D-Treats on the flank. Gets one. We'll see what Veritas does to reconnect here. Oh, what a molly! The molly lands right on top of Michael, and he's going to go down. Now Jazza, the last one up, and Dodge smells blood in the water. They're coming up over the top. Jazza will find Pat Caps.
Wow.
That's going to do it for Veritas. Oath wins, but can they get the res in time and get repositioned for Dodge to make this push?
Look at that, though. The awareness there from Belfast. All the while that fight's going on, Snake is pushing up to shut down that push from Finna. Not allowing that third party. That's so difficult to do, especially at this stage of the game. The fact that Bale and Snake is both looking out for that threat, making sure that Relo and Pat Caps had all the time in the world and the safety to clean up that fight with Veritas. Really, really good stuff from Oath.
Really heady play from Oath, and they've got 4 up. They've got 12 kills already, and they now have their next circle, Roth, lying right in the middle. That Snake could end up being huge.
Snaker saw him.
Snaker saw him, and that is so fortunate, because there you go. Roth gets taken out. Add another one to the kill feed, and Oath now in a 4v4 for the win here against Dodge.
I'm gonna go. Actually, Finnegan to get the first tag through, but look at how much Oath are investing down to the south side here. Again, I guess they're anticipating the terrain going to play a little bit better for them over on that side. Snakers, meanwhile, he's got to be careful he doesn't find himself in this 1v2 situation with Adam and Danny, but Finner and Lamp actually cautiously backing away now, and Oath have spread it a little bit.
There's a lot of ridges.
The terrain's a bit funky here, to be honest.
It is extremely funky. I mean, Liberate has a lot of little hills to hide behind here, whereas Oath, their hills kind of end where they're positioned right now. So, you know, it's going to be... It's going to take some crafty maneuvering on the part of Oath here, and I imagine it's going to start off with the flank from the north side here. As Pat Caps will find Danny G. That's going to open things up. Snakers will take the long wrap up to the north. He's going to get some support from Balefrost as well, but Finna and Adam are going to be waiting and ready to repel that attack. The Frost, it's going to be basically 2v2s right here as Balefrost comes up with the top, trades with Finna. Adam goes down. Finna goes down. It's down to Lampalot, and Oath just squeezing the fist on top of Dodge. Lampalot will get one back, and yet he will flush out Pat Caps, but he has next to no health. The smokes are down. Oath is on the hunt. As Adam's slowly bleeding out, there's not very likely he's going to get rezzed here. Lampalot on his own. We'll see what he can do.
This reposition is huge. I think they've actually, caught one of it. Reload sending some utility over that way, and Lampalot might get one peek on, but I think he's just been spotted out there.
I think you're right, and we'll see how long, if maybe Lamp can at least get one more point off of this, but they're going to push it at the same time, and that's going to do it. Oath with the 17-kill win to start things off. They said locked in third. No, sir.